Still recording?
Well, isn't this timely? I know you've probably heard from others here on YouTube about the comedically awful dumpster fire that is Concord, with slow gameplay, horrible character design, and an overall air of corporate meddling. Concord is without a doubt one of the biggest failures in video game history, with Sony sinking hundreds of millions of dollars into this massive multiplayer game, only for it to be taken offline not even 2 weeks later. And recently, the studio behind the game, Firewalk Studios, has been shut down for good. I was one of the few unlucky individuals who had the displeasure of playing this game when it was still alive, and found it to be just as bad, if not worse, than everyone was saying. I did end up getting a full refund, and ended up spending it on a much better game, Warhammer Space Marine 2. By the way, review coming soon. So let's dive into the biggest mistake of this year, that is, Concord. Concord is what happens when a board of suits designs a game rather than developers. It checked all of the generic multiplayer boxes. The biggest issue everyone has talked about is the character design, which are not only awful to look at, but also negatively affect gameplay. In other hero shooters like TF2 or Overwatch, characters are not only visually appealing, but also uniquely distinct from each other, with standout silhouettes that help players better understand a situation in only a few seconds. Concord didn't feature this, and it made each match feel cluttered and unorganized. Sony originally had a massive plan for this game that will now never see the light of day, like how each week the game would open with a different animated short. There's also supposed to be a Concord episode of the upcoming anthology series Secret Level, which, at the time of writing this, has not been scrapped yet. Another massive issue this game had was the price point. This game was charging you $40 for an experience that you can find elsewhere for free. I talked about the character designs, but even the characters' personalities are bare bones, with most of them just being generic character tropes from other sci-fi franchises like Guardians of the Galaxy. The game also played incredibly slow, with even the fastest characters feeling sluggish in comparison to other shooters. I kinda don't have a lot else to say, and I debated even making this video, but I thought, if I have to suffer through this thing when it was alive, then I might as well get something out of this. I may have gotten my money back, but there's one thing this game took from me that I'll never get back. My time. Concord is a game where the less that's said about it, the better. Sony has gone to insane lengths to ignore this game and pretend it never happened. And honestly, it's probably for the best. In summary, Concord has ended up being a shining example of how not to launch a game, and will likely end up being one of the biggest mistakes in video game history. But hey, maybe it would have been better if I paid $700 to play this game with a minuscule improvement in resolution. Seriously, Sony, what even is that? What's funny about this whole thing is that shortly after Concord's disastrous launch, Sony ended up releasing a Game of the Year contender. But we'll get to that later. That's all I got for now. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit that bell icon to be notified for whenever I make a new video. The next review should be Beetlejuice, so if you're interested in that, or interested in supporting the channel more, then turn on notifications and check out my other videos. Okay, that's it. Bye.